We just found out we're
A
going there,
bit
so.
of a sneak peek if you want it, Charles. So, right-hand drive vehicles, as you might know, are not allowed in Sierra Leone.
Oh, right.
We on a whim went to the embassy today in Sierra Leone in Guinea, and just said, look, technically the three-wheel car is a trike, not a car. Can you let us in? And lo and behold, within 10 minutes, they were on the phone to people and said yes. So
Oh,
we will
wow.
be one of very few right-hand
Mm.
drive cars in the country in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to today's Explorers, a series dedicated to sharing the inspiring stories and varying perspectives of those who've chosen to seek out life-changing adventure. On today's call, I've got Seth and Ollie. Hey, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Charles. Appreciate it.
No worries. So you guys are on a rather exciting adventure, trying to attempt a world record from London to Cape Town, as I understand. And you're doing it in a rather unique vehicle. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. London to Cape Town in a three-wheeled Reliant Robin, which we found out is one of three. So there are only three of that particular van version made. So a very rare car indeed.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll jump into a bit more detail about the vehicle later. But for now, can we jump back in time and get a good understanding of what led you into exploration?
Into exploration. Um, well, I kind of went on a trip to Thailand as a youth, and kind of led me down tons of pathways with traveling. And then I did something called the Mongol Rally, and that's
Okay.
where Ollie and I actually met each other.
Bit wrong.
And I saw a Reliant Robin doing that rally, and it just stuck in my head for about the last 6, 7 years. And I pitched this trip to Ollie, and he was stupid enough
Yeah.
to kind of want to do something like this with me.
It's a fair comment. Yeah, no, absolutely. For me, it started when I was 17. If you're in the UK, there's a program called the Duke of Edinburgh, which you kind of do when you're 16, 17, and you kind of go on hikes and do charity work and stuff. And my Duke of Edinburgh was actually based in, I was lucky enough, there was a company that exported us to Ecuador. So when I was 17, I was kind of lucky enough to like stay with a tribe in the Amazon, rebuild a school in the Andes, and do a load of cool stuff like that. Then ever since then, my life changed really. I was quite a shy, timid kid, and it kind of gave me the desire to go out and see the world.
Awesome. Yeah. So you got the travel bug early on,
Oh, 100%, yeah.
stuck around.
It hooks you in.
Great. So what special skills are you bringing to this current adventure? I think I've seen you, Seth, doing a lot of mechanical stuff.
Yeah, I've always loved cars. Kind of right before I actually got really into traveling, I used to do I do track days and different racing events with my cars, and so I'd love to mix kind of my mechanical knowledge with adventure travel. And this one, yeah, definitely kept me on my toes for sure.
Yeah, I've got a kind of background in social media really, and had a few sports-based social media companies and things. So that's kind of my angle and area of expertise, I guess. But I worked for a travel company in Vietnam for a couple of years, so yeah, logistics and stuff.
Well, yeah, I've been noticing, yeah, you've started from 0 followers and now it's just kind of blowing up daily.
Yeah, about to hit 15K, I think, on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah,
getting close to
Was
that
that
in a matter of weeks.
intentional that,
yeah. So I've built a few channels to over 100,000 followers on TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, so we kind of discussed this strategy beforehand, and the thing is, like, people want daily content and they want to follow the journey in real time. So
yeah,
we've tried to do that as best we can. And I think that was always the strategy. We didn't want to like we were filming stuff back in May of this year, and
Yeah.
we made a conscious effort not to post anything until we were actually on the journey.
yeah, yeah, it seems to be working very well. Especially algorithms change all the time, but you seem to have
Exactly. Yeah.
figured it out. That's cool. Well, do you want to give me an overview of the trip and what you're doing it for and all that?
Yeah, so after some research, trying to kind of figure out the details on this trip, nobody had ever done a London to Cape Town trip in a three-wheeled car. People have done it in attempted it in lots of different cars. So this was something new that we really wanted to tackle. During the planning, I was like, I really want to raise some funds for charity as well, because I think this is going to turn into something quite big, which it's growing at a rapid pace. So I'm really glad that we've actually partnered up with a charity called School in a Bag. That Ollie, it's actually from Ollie's kind of hometown area.
Yeah, they're about 20 miles away from me. So they're based in Yeovil in Somerset. I
Okay.
think the reason for, like, obviously we kind of planned this route anyway, London to Cape Town, and a lot of their work is based in the countries we're going through. We've already gone to a school in Senegal. We're going to another one in Ghana. I've just actually realised there's one in Sierra Leone as well. Now we're actually going
Oh,
there.
yeah, we just found out we're going
A
actually.
bit of a sneak peek if you want it, Charles. So, right-hand drive vehicles, as you might know, are not allowed in Sierra Leone.
Oh, right.
We on a whim went to the embassy today in Sierra Leone in Guinea, and just said, look, technically, the three-wheel car is a trike, not a car. Can you let us in? And lo and behold, within 10 minutes, they were on the phone to people and said yes. So
Oh,
we will
wow.
be one of very few right-hand drive cars in the country in the next couple of days.
Yeah,
Wow.
incredible.
Exclusive there for you.
That's amazing. That's a good tip for any future overlanders trying to do the same things.
Use a three-wheel vehicle.
That's awesome. So yeah, school in a bag, and I think I've seen you got a Just Giving page. Is that how people can donate? All right, I'll add that to the description for sure.
Appreciate it.
So where have you explored so far on this trip? I think you've gone through Morocco, Mauritania.
Yeah, France, Spain, Morocco, Western Sahara, Morocco, depending where you're from. Yeah, Mauritania, Senegal, and now Guinea and Sierra Leone tomorrow.
Yeah, our visas just got approved actually about an hour ago as well. So
Oh, nice.
looks like we're going.
So you're moving at pace, it seems.
You know what? We're actually meant to go a little bit faster than what we're going because Seth's Ghana visa has actually expired. Going to expire.
Yeah, I've got like 4 days left on it.
So we've had what 3 or 4 days in country.
Yeah, we keep ending up in places the days on Friday, so we can't go to the embassies till Monday. So we're stuck here for a few days. But it looks like I can get a Ghana visa issued in Ivory Coast, so we're kind of able to slow down now.
Yeah,
because the rush is kind of gone.
Yeah,
We thought it was only issued in your home country, but it looks like they will issue it here.
Yeah, so the only reason for the pace really was the Ghana visa expiring for both us and potentially Nigeria. Then once we hit those two major milestones, we can kind of go and explore and do and see things.
Yeah. So the pace might slow down at some point.
I would have thought so. It's pretty tiring. Yeah,
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot
We're
to do.
borderline heat stroke every day.
And there'll be a couple countries. I think I understand there'll be need for a military escort or something. Is that still the case?
You were reading about Nigeria. It depends what border we go through. I think if we go far south, I think we kind of stay clear for it. But you know, as you said, things are happening all the time. It's politically quite volatile. I don't know, maybe the DRC. I'm not entirely sure. It depends on what's going on at the time, really. But we're not going to be there for a month or so.
We're hoping to stay kind of as coastal as we can because our car is just basically a big billboard. And people take photos and videos and stuff. So we want to try to stay as southern, out of any conflicts as much as possible. That's kind of a big part of our route planning.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and of the countries that you've visited so far, any that you would recommend people take a closer look?
I mean, I've been to Morocco quite a few times, and I think every time you go back, you can find something new and something different. I think particularly if you're overlanding in a 4x4, if you go to kind of southeast and to the eastern side, more to the deserts, and sleep under the stars, so to speak, I think that's a really cool experience. I mean, the people of Guinea have been...
Yeah, honestly, Guinea's been one of my... I didn't expect it. I was kind of scared. I've seen, remarks from like YouTubers like Drubinski who really had tough times here, especially in Conakry. And the people of Guinea have been some of the friendliest that we've run into so far. The corruption, we've run into a couple of corrupt police officers, but I think Senegal was much worse overall so far. And like everyone's got a smile on their face, everyone's fist bumping you as they're driving past. It's really lovely, and the landscape is a lot more mountainous and green. Like it's really beautiful here.
The roads are still crap.
Yeah, roads are terrible.
But the people in the countryside are nice.
Yeah, I guess we'll get to the car in a minute, but what are the destinations you're looking forward to coming up then?
I spent a bit of time in Botswana and Namibia last year, very briefly. I'd love to explore them a little bit more because they're very, I would say safe compared to a lot of countries going through, but they're just very easy to travel through. Probably not in our car, having said that, but there's a lot of national parks and really cool stuff to see, and it's just some of the most beautiful landscapes and kind of natural architecture you can see really, and yeah, I'd feel a lot more comfortable there, kind of exploring.
Yeah, like I'm excited to see some of the national parks coming up.
Yeah,
Some of the jungle in Sierra Leone, some of the historical kind of buildings. Like there's so much history that took place throughout this part of the world, especially Ghana. I'm a big history fan, so yeah, any historical buildings, historical sites we can kind of stop on the way, I'm really excited to check out.
that's cool. Um, Great. Well, yeah, let's move on to the vehicle then. It's a Reliant Robin. What year it is, and I generally ask what modifications you've made to the vehicle. What it?
It is a 2000 Mark
Uh,
III Reliant Robin van.
Mhm.
Um, so prepping for this trip, it had initially had a single layer rear spring, just a one spring strapped onto the axle there. We changed out to a double right in London at the beginning. That wasn't enough. Then we got like a four layer, and now we've got some massive rear springs on the back that we just got installed that are keeping up.
Mhm.
We did a fuel tank guard. Um, we also did a sump guard, fog lights. We put on 5 fog lights in total on the car. MX5 seats.
Most important thing
Those
by
changed
far.
the game. We didn't really fit in the car. I couldn't drive it comfortably. You could barely
Yeah.
start the car before. We're both over 6 foot, so it's been a challenging experience to even fit in the car. And then the aluminum radiator was
Yeah.
probably one of the most important mechanical upgrades we've done with going through the Sahara with such a heavily laden 850cc motorbike
Mm.
car, basically.
Yeah.
Roof rack and leisure battery.
Oh yeah, the leisure battery for charging devices and the roof rack. Roof rack's a pretty big game changer, but also a bit tippy at times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're staying at a hotel right now. Is that generally where you've been staying for each night?
It's been a
Yeah.
bit of a mix, really, because like where we were staying in Mamu and in Labe, it was kind of very, I don't know how you describe it really. My bed was made out of a tree. It
Yeah.
like it broke. Yeah, it broke. It was kind of held together with bits of random wood. But yeah, hostels and hotels.
Yeah, trying to keep the car secure is a big one too.
Oh, where was it? Is it Western Sahara where we got mobbed by those kids
Yeah,
instantly?
like it gets a lot of attention, so it makes things challenging at times. So
Yeah.
trying to make sure it's kind of in a secure environment, because there's usually, if we stop somewhere, we'll have 10 to 15 people
Oh,
surrounding the
yeah,
car.
even in Conakry, we filled up some fuel by the side of the road, and we had like 15, 20 people around us.
And it was empty the minute we pulled up. We're like, oh, it's a nice empty spot. We'll be able to fill up. But yeah,
Yeah,
it gets a lot of attention.
yeah, it's nice, but you also yeah, it could be quite annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's understandable. What I always ask this question too. Like, what if you could pick 5 pieces of equipment that are essential for your travel? What would those be?
So usually it would be music, but we can't hear each other because it's so loud in there. We've actually got ear defenders. We got to wear. 5 essential travel tips. That's a
Hmm.
great question. I'm a big fan of and this is going to sound boring, but the Caxton travel card, because they will send you a card anywhere in the world if you lose it, and you can top it up as you go. So I've lost them before in
Okay.
Vietnam, for example, and they've sent me a new one, and I've only lost the 50 quid that was on it or whatever else, and you can top it up as you go and use it in any country. And it's the only card I've ever had that works in every single ATM I've ever used it in. So a bit of a techie one there. I will say music actually, because when you can hear it, I find it calms me down, it motivates
Yeah.
me. Certainly up there. Anything else you can suggest?
Ah, you
Decent
know,
travel plug.
uh,
I know it's obvious, but
yeah, like a good bag is
yeah.
yeah
Oh,
is a really important one. Ziploc bags. I always like to have my passport and other stuff. If you don't have, maybe if you have a waterproof bag, a Ziploc bag, just having your stuff in that is a great one.
and again, it might sound a bit obvious, but like a folder for all your documents. Obviously,
Yeah.
we've got a carnet de passage and yellow fever certificates. I'll tell you what, actually, here's one for you. International driving permits. Whenever we've
Right.
been stopped by the police, they always ask for those because they know a lot of people don't
Mhm.
have them, and they only cost £5 in the post office. So when they're looking for a little bit of cash, you present that to them. They're like, "Oh, they've bloody got one."
Yeah, and
So yeah,
I've had one like every time I've done an international trip, and I've never been asked for one as much as I have in West Africa.
yeah,
It is
Yeah.
like
they know it's a thing. They can charge people on.
usually I bring my expired ones, which I wish I did this trip because I've had officers try to retain it. So if you have expired ones, bring those as well, and then just say you handed them the wrong one. But if they try to get some money from you, that's you just leave it.
Yeah, good bag's a good shout. To be fair.
Yeah.
Another one I thought is I'm assuming you're running around having to get things printed, like extra copies of things, like having a printer on board might be useful.
If
But
we had room for one, we'd have
yeah.
one, yeah. But no, we've been lucky to get stuff printed at hotels and things.
Yeah. But having copies of your passport on this trip too.
Yeah.
And if you're on West Africa, bring euros. Do not bring US
Oh
dollars.
yeah.
That's just a tip for anyone coming to this part of the world.
Every forum we went
Yep.
was like, "Oh yeah, US dollars are fine," and that we've really struggled to get rid of them.
Yeah.
That's
Bizarre.
interesting. Like my parents did a trip in the 70s, and they had a story of which they needed a part because they broke down, and the taxi driver essentially, when they got back, demanded a lot more money, and they were like, "We don't have any more." And it went back and forth for a while, and the rest of his gang kind of arrived, and it became a bit intense. But my dad pulled out a $1 bill, and he took and accepted that, even though that was
Oh,
less than the
really?
amount that they were looking for. So the power of
Yeah,
like
for sure.
currency is interesting.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's politically since, the new Trump administration, but it's like a rejection now. And you read
Yeah.
blogs from 1, 2 years ago, and everyone's like US dollar or euro, but only euros what people want at all.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
I've never been somewhere like it.
Interesting. Cool. Well, I've got some reflective questions. What inspires you guys to explore?
There's something that I see other cultures and I see it's almost like different subjective realities in the world. You see the way people view the world, you see the way they live in it. And there's something I find so humbling about seeing these alternate realities. I don't know what you want to call them, different views, and you just kind of get addicted to that, to seeing these new subjective, new points of view, and yeah, that's what I think keeps pulling me.
There's a quote that comes to mind, and I can't remember for the life of me who said it, but it was just something along the lines of, "The more you travel, the more you realize how much you haven't seen." If that makes sense, it kind of opens your eyes, and I'm kind of inspired by the Michael Palins, the David Attenboroughs, who kind of done this stuff in the 70s and 80s and popularized it on TV and kind of for the first time showed the audiences these weird and wonderful places. But also on a personal level, my dad died when he was 50, and just had just paid off his mortgage and was about to enjoy his life and never
wow.
got to do it. So my kind of mantra is like, put enjoyment first over any financial pressures. Or, I'm not married, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have kids. I've kind of dedicated my life to having fun, really. And yeah, long may that continue.
That's great. How do you guys engage with other people then?
On this trip,
On this trip, yeah, in general, like, what's your way of breaking down walls?
it's interesting. To be honest, because of what we're doing in this such unique vehicle, people gravitate towards us and the car. In Morocco, it's Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean. It was by other people from the UK and Europe. It's Top Gear or
Yeah.
Only Fools and Horses. So we've to be honest, we had a guy from Russia last night come and take a selfie with us because he saw the car and our Instagram page. We haven't had to go out of our way to spark and start conversation, although we both happily would.
Yeah.
With other people as well. So yeah, we've like people, as Seth said earlier as well, people gravitating around the car at any given opportunity, even on the roads when you're stuck in traffic where you're moving at 5 miles an hour. Fist bumping people, high fiving, people are asking what the car is, where it's from, where are you going, where have you come from, kind of thing. Even the
Yeah.
police have had selfies, and look, a lot of the time the police have had selfies in the car. They've got in the car, and they've driven the car, and it's a natural icebreaker by doing it in something weird, wonderful, and quite quirky.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like you said, a big billboard, so
Yeah,
that draws people. Why is it important that we embrace global cultures?
I think battling stereotypes. A lot of people like the stereotype war-torn Africa. That's what people like. Why would you go to Africa? Like it's one country. And there's so many different identities, so many different cultures spread throughout this continent, and yeah, I think, you know, that's kind of one of the most important aspects.
Yeah, 100% as well. I think it's just the biggest education as well. I've learned far more. As I said earlier, I've done like the Duke of Edinburgh when I was like 17 and went to like Ecuador and Peru. It's the biggest. I got more education from doing something like that than I ever did from doing algebra. So yeah, I think it's just aspiring to learn more and
Hmm.
bettering yourself for it. Not that you have to, but I think you become a more well-rounded person with a everyone's got an opinion, but I think you'll have a better opinion of something or somewhere, been there and interacted with that people or
Yeah,
culture.
because otherwise, I mean, we're born where we're born in the world, and then we're fed whatever media that we are is in that country, and that can be skewed sometimes. And unless you actually go to the place, you're not going to fully understand what it's like to be in Morocco or the
Yeah,
middle
hundred
of
percent.
the
It's
jungle.
yeah.
Great. What's been some challenges for you on the trip so far?
The heat, like
The
I
heat.
was excited for the heat, but the car, like the engine bay is basically inside of the cabin. It's
Hmm.
almost like an old van, and it'll burn your legs almost if your legs against the engine compartment inside the car.
Oh well.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. The heat, we both got a bit of heat stroke. I think I know it's the amount of driving and it's long days we kind of expected as well. I think the borders, particularly the Mauritanian border, we all know it's going to be long, but it took them so long to recognise what the car was. We were there for 9 hours.
Wow.
And by our, you can, I think by the nature of what we're doing, going to some very difficult countries with quite an odd car, we all know and prepared it's going to be a few hours at the border. But by hour 7, I was like, what the flip is going on here? So, like, yeah, that was annoying.
Wow. Um, yeah, that would be challenging with trying to stay on schedule and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, on the flip side, then, what's been the most meaningful moment so far?
I think the interactions with people, it's like, normally you have to try to break the ice, like you were saying, you have to figure out some way, but we get 40, 50 interactions, if not more, per day of just random people coming up trying to talk to us, trying to use English, us using our very, very little amount of broken French that we speak. And it's been a great experience getting photos of people and taking photos of people sitting in the car because they're so excited.
That's great. When you get back after this trip or when you're at home, how do you guys continue to feed that exploration locally? Yeah, because I mean,
Wow.
it's always encouraging people they don't have to necessarily go super far. They can start small by exploring their own local
For
neighborhoods.
sure, no, absolutely. I think Devon's got quite a few national parks, and obviously very coastal as well. Every day I make the effort to go out for a walk, and taking the blues and greens, so to speak. Um, and I just think it's just really good for you mentally more than anything, just getting some fresh air. Um, Again, like what can you say to someone to aspire them to do it? I guess it's also if you can join hiking groups, rambling groups, running groups. It's a great way to kind of spend time with people as well because you're out in nature, and that's better than being sat at home by yourself doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In Canada, I like to go try to track down new waterfalls all the time, new beaches. I live on Vancouver Island, so it's an outdoor paradise. I love fishing too, trying to find different lakes and go salmon fishing. Those things, kind of feed that for me.
That's great. So, explore more. I try to promote a mantra, which is explore more of the world, engage with others, and embrace global cultures. When you hear those words, what does that make you think of for your lives?
Explore more, embrace local cultures. Yeah, I think it's a great mantra to kind of feed into people because, as we said earlier, I personally think travel and adventure is the biggest education you can have, and it's not necessarily an expensive one because you can go to, well, if you're in the UK, you can go up and the amount of history we have just in the UK
Yeah.
goes back thousands of years. And there's great national parks and history on your front doorstep wherever you live. I think that's what it means to me. So it means to me education through. If you're not very academic like myself, you can still learn and have that gratification of doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are all things, that I kind of try to live my life by. And in Canada, we have, different cultures and We have the traditional indigenous people that have lived for thousands of years, and a lot of people are trying to now connect and understand the lands that we live on and kind of the history there by communicating more and interacting with indigenous groups around all over Canada.
Yeah, that's great. So for those who are kind of on the fence, maybe not had their first exploration yet, but what advice would you give to someone to head out and experience an adventure?
So if you're quite daunted and you've only ever been to, I don't know, Cornwall, France or Spain, and the old package holidays, there are some great companies out there that kind of put groups together on trips to somewhere a bit further afield, a Vietnam, a Peru, a Mexico, India. So you start this journey with a bunch of like-minded people all in the same boat. It was more likely to be their first time going to someone a bit further afield, and you kind of learn as a group, and you'll meet friends for life. And there's plenty of companies out there that can then source that. And then once you've done one, you'll gain the confidence to go out maybe by yourself or take a friend or a partner with you. I worked for one of these companies a few years ago, and a lot of the clients and customers we had only ever gone to Cornwall, let's say, and then they go to Thailand, Vietnam, and places like that, and just walk away at the end of it inspired, and they come back next year by themselves. If someone's wanting to take the leap, I would say do it, because it will improve your life vastly. When I've done trips like that, it's just confidence, and and you can't teach that in school.
I remember catching the train. I was so confused, and I went to a hostel and I started meeting people. And within 24 hours, I went from this terrified, never really traveled at all, to just having this confidence and this love that kind of fostered. And being scared is, I think, an important thing in your life in a way.
Yeah, I often find that too. It's just, you can make it up in your head that it's going to be a certain way, but when you actually do it, it's not as bad as it seems.
100%.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm at the end of my questions, but how can people follow your adventures? You're on Instagram, TikTok, and what's the handles for those?
Yeah, just type in Hold My Gear. I'm sure you'll find us. Give us a follow and repost. We've got a link tree on all those as well, which have a link to our website if you want to work with us. We've got kind of exclusive behind the scenes content on Patreon, and most importantly, a link to our Just Giving page for the charity we're working with, School in a Bag.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, thank you again for joining on the show and answering my questions. It's great to hear your kind of perspective on the world and
I appreciate it.
All that. So, yeah, thank you very much, and I will bid you farewell.
No, thank you so much, Charles. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.